And we should be live. Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream repair. We've got two to fix up. One with DC offset problems and one with no power. So we're going to knock out the one with some DC offset first. We've, of course, I'll confirm for you guys, got our warm beer. Sitting at a nice 28 degrees, which is about yep, my mat is also at 28 degrees Celsius, so. Really brings out the flavor. Anyways, here's our first pod. Let's go ahead and check our symptoms. I'm expecting to hear a louder than usual pop, which of course is a telltale sign of filters going bad, which leads to the symptoms that people commonly refer to as death farts. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty fair pop, if you ask me. Let's get it apart and see what's going on. Hey, welcome, Mike. Ooh, I've never been to New York. We're doing all right. We're getting some sleep every day. Oh man. I grew up in Spokane, Washington. Up to 18 years old. That was my whole life, from birth till 18, and I moved out to Seattle here. Was Spokane, and I feel that way whenever I still go back to Spokane just to visit. I feel like a tourist. So much has changed. I would like to visit New York one day, though. Yeah, it felt like Spokane, for the most part, stayed pretty much the same up until I moved out in, I think it was around 2010, 2012-ish. And then I went back like a year or so later just to visit, and it's like everything's like getting replaced and things are getting built out. And like I still feel familiar on the roads as far as like where to go and how to get to places without looking on a map or anything. But it still all feels so foreign now. So a city like New York, I can't imagine how much that's changed. Okay, so we know this needs new filters. Does it need a new Schottky diode? No, it does not. It's got a date code of 1736K, so we're safe to leave that alone. Let's just worry about those filters then. Yeah, this one's got death cards. Wow, okay. And here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful. And let's check it out, make sure it's all still in good working order. These repairs in particular aren't always as exciting because it's not really obvious what the problem is before, and it's hard to demonstrate that the problem is gone after. You'd have to reset it and play music through it and sit around for potentially upwards of an hour before it would fart on us, and I don't think anybody wants to do that.
I'm having trouble connecting to...
But as you can hear, the severe popping is completely gone. We've just got the ever so slightly normal tick. If you put your ear up right next to it, you can hear it. That's pretty normal for literally all of these things, even the second gens, even brand new first gens. It's a Class D amplifier thing. Yo. Especially when you use the particular filter design that Apple did in these. But that is fixed. So let's move on to... Whose is this? We've got Fred here with no power. A pretty common repair here. Let's go ahead and check our symptoms. The known good power cable. So about 4 watts of power draw from the wall despite nothing happening here. So we're certain it's not like a blown fuse or something like that. We've almost definitely got another one of those dead diodes. In particular, one with the date code of 1746K or 1748K. So let's find out if we're correct. have it, 1748K on that diode, so it is definitely in need of replacing. You got yourself some power. Oh my god, look at that offset. Okay, so that needs new filters too. I'm so sick of these filters, man. Yeah, so if we don't replace those filters, that 400 millivolts of DC voltage that we were seeing coming out of the amp is going to continue to grow and get worse over time. And their bass speaker will suffer. They'll have death farts, and who knows what else it'll blow up. We don't want that. So this is a little more involved than we expected, but we should probably expect that at this point with all these things. I just want a simple freaking diode. I don't want to dick with these stupid filters. Why can't Apple just make good shit for once? Like, they can't have a single product that doesn't have multiple problems with it. Blah, 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 blah. Old man yelling at sky. Yeah, part of it is definitely a quality control problem, but I can't help but think that, especially with these filters, this is a bad design from the start. Like, this was designed such that when one of these 4 filters fails, the whole thing takes a shit. And then they don't even offer repairs for them, let alone actually ever fix them themselves. It's just so it makes zero sense that they spent so much money researching and developing the HomePod just to do this. Boy, what I would give to pick the brains of the person that did that. But hey, I guess on the bright side, it created a great business opportunity for us. Woohoo. You know, I was pretty happy living my life just doing my 9 to 5. Then I had to go get all obsessed with these things. And the problems that Apple keeps ignoring. I'm sorry if you guys don't want to hear this, but what do you expect when you tune into a channel that pretty much exclusively works on these things all day? It's like expecting a McDonald's employee to not complain about any of the working conditions or problems working at McDonald's, you know? We've seen some shit. I'm talking literally loose screws floating around inside of these things. Nobody being in them before. I don't think the hardware was ever supposed to be the moneymaker for them. They didn't design these to make money off the hardware. They designed these, I believe, to get people into the Apple ecosystem, to pay for Apple Music, sign up for subscriptions. That's where the money is. The money isn't in the short-term hardware sales, at least for them. It's in the subscriptions and the services. Not yet, not yet. Let's make sure, getting ahead of ourselves, let's make sure this has a good offset. We're looking for less than 50 millivolts on that meter to confirm that we're good. And just a reminder, we were previously seeing upwards of 400 millivolts, and that was just sitting for a few seconds. So these repairs do end up costing just a tiny bit more, but the $10 now is well worth it, as opposed to the money shipping it back and forth a few months later, because it's now got death farts. I'm really glad that we caught this, because early on, before we were really advertising our HomePod repair services, we hadn't figured all of this out. We'd only figured out the power issue. We didn't even think to check for DC offset issues, let alone know how to fix those problems that cause death farts. So we spent a lot of time, a lot of parts, and unfortunately quite a bit of money trying to nail down where these death farts problems were coming from. Once we figured it out, it was coming from those filters going bad, allowing too much DC voltage through. That's when we figured out where those were coming from. That's when we started checking every single HomePod. And that's when we started noticing that quite a few of these HomePods with no power, they've got bad filters on the horizon too. And over time we've learned that it's not just bad filters, it's kind of just a bad design. It's unfortunate, because these are really good speakers. And this isn't just me because I get money fixing these things. I still firmly believe that these are like the best speaker that you can get for the money. They sound phenomenal, and there's just nothing that quite compares to what these specifically offer. So I personally think it's worth putting a little bit of money into them every once in a while to keep them going, especially if they work just fine otherwise. It's an audio device, unlike like your phone or your car. Not even your car. Your car continues to get you from point A to point B just fine. Maybe you've got fuel efficiency to argue, but besides the point. Unlike your other electronics, your speakers, they're going to sound as good as they were from day one, and generally speaking, we've pretty much gotten as good as we can get at speakers. At this point, all we're doing is cramming more things that you can do with it into them. So, as long as Apple continues to allow us to at least use these things, we're going to continue fixing them. That's pretty much what I tell people. I'll keep fixing them for as long as they can be fixed, and once they can't anymore, then we'll figure something else out. We'll find an aftermarket amplifier that we can put in here, find some passive mods to repurpose the speakers so you can just plug it into your home theater amp maybe. We've already tried that, but there's still a lot to learn before we offer that for other people, you know. So we've talked enough here to hang out and just make sure that offset is holding nice and steady at 5 millivolts. That is an excellent score and way better than the 400 millivolts that we saw before. So we can put this back together and sleep well at night knowing that they're not going to be emailing us again soon going, hey, I know you fixed my HomePod with no power, but now it's got death farts too. We just want to avoid that situation. Even if it costs them a little extra up front, it's worth it in the end for everybody. And if you were curious, the amplifier chip on this HomePod in particular is rated for about 18 millivolts at most of DC voltage offset at the input, which amplifies to, in other words, what we would see at the subwoofer speaker. We shouldn't see more than 200 millivolts. That any more than that is out of spec and can cause damage to the amplifier chip. So, after quite a bit of research, we've found that majority of audio nerds agree on Class D audio amplifiers landing at no more than 50 millivolts of DC offset. So that's quite a bit lower than what the amp can actually tolerate, but 50 millivolts is that threshold that we always aim for. So if we see more than 50 on any of these HomePods after we get them working again, we're going to give it new filters. And that's why on our website, under the repair estimates for no power, the range is $60 to $70, not just flat out $60, because there's a good chance you need new filters too. And can you imagine if we never figured out this the death farts issue, or this problem with the filters going bad, and we had started doing all these no power repairs for the past year and a half, almost 2 years, and well, we'd be dealing with a lot of unhappy people because they would have paid a good amount of money for no power repairs, and then they'd be hitting us back up shortly later with death farts problems, and we wouldn't have anything for them because we wouldn't have figured it out. Almost keeps me up at night thinking about it. Like, at the very least, we got very lucky. Now, if only we could find a way to predict more failures than just the no power and DC offset / death farts problems. Alright, this connector is absolutely messing with me right now. And I'm not having it. There we go. Did we get it? Yeah, we got it. Folks, that is all that we've got to fix up today. If you're looking for more info doing these repairs yourself or reaching out to me or someone else around the world doing the same thing, check out the website nixfix.com. I've also got a shop launched. There's a shop link at the top of the website where I'm selling refurbished HomePods and parts if you need them. So check that out.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.